In the northern section of the triangle-shaped marsh, the team is looking for other potential caches of hidden goods. They found a piece of shaped wood 3 feet underground, which may be connected to a building nearer the surface or another one farther below. The group is committed to finding solutions, and, as the excavation progresses, archaeologist Jack Begley teams up with archaeologist Fiona Steele and her assistant Todd Langth to examine a mysterious circular foundation close to the shore. The test pit's objective is to determine whether the gap in the rocks serves as an entrance. The fact that this is the section of the entire edifice that has been located is an added benefit. The crew has found man-made mortar that matches soils from over 100 feet deep in the money pit. Additionally, some portions of the feature, as well as a variety of coins and antiquities from the 14th to the 18th centuries, have been unearthed in the money pit area. A hinge piece that Fiona thinks is a diamond or some kind of cut glass is one of the items that have led the team to conclude that the feature was utilized and altered by several people throughout a number of ages when riches may have been placed in the money pit location. Fiona is unsure, but Jack believes that this hinge may have come from a chest or box. The rest of the hinge and its contents are being bagged. As they continue to search the swamp and its possible treasure caches, the team is committed to finding the answers to these questions. Overall, stand out. The discovery of 2 distinct pieces of silver that are thought to be a component of a treasure discovered on an island in the late 1700s is examined in the text. One of the island's original property owners, Samuel Ball, was a prosperous cabbage grower who passed away. The finding of these silver spoons adds a sense of mystery to the circumstances at his home. The spoons' close proximity to one another and the iron found nearby raise the possibility that there was a plan to process or melt down silver. The conclusion derived from this discovery is that someone was melting the silver down, offering a clue as to who Samuel might have been. The distance between the silver spoons and the well on Lot 26 is also noted as 40 feet, and the well water is one of the few places where there is silver in the water. Richard is urged to keep looking for other pieces, because the more information gathered, the more concrete facts and speculation can result. The text ends by suggesting that since the area is one of the few places where silver is found, the next step is to find out if there is a smithy there. This could shed light on Samuel's reputation as a hard worker and creative individual who was an expert in his field. The team is looking for more than 10 tons of spoils from a mysterious rounded stone feature on Lot 5 that is located a few yards to the east. The team has discovered a number of amazing artifacts, such as a fragment of a 17th century English silver coin and a 14th century lead barter token. These items may be related to the Knights Templar's medieval order. Additionally, Lot 4 had an intriguing button that may have been made between the late 1600s and the mid-1700s. It is unusual that no buttons for clothing or tunics have been discovered previously. The button may have been made in the 17th century and may have been connected to the cut English coin discovered in the round feature on Lot 5. Finding a button excites the team because it might include military insignia that would enable the archaeologists to locate the events on Lot 5. Additionally, the scientists discovered an ancient coin weight that seemed to be lead. The team is thrilled about the prospect of discovering a lead coin weight, since it may have been connected to the Knights Temple and could have been used to divide up amounts of treasure. This kind of coin weight was used by merchants and farmers as early as 305 BC to guarantee the true value of coins and prevent counterfeiting. The team is eager to keep looking and discover more priceless items in the vicinity of the money pit. Archaeologists have found that the money pit location has a significant concentration. The entire experience demonstrated that 10X was not going to readily divulge its secrets, and they knew they had to change things up because the shaft was unpredictable and dangerous. There were still many mysteries to solve on Oak Island, and they weren't going to allow one setback stop them from moving forward with their plans. When Charles Barkhouse arrived with an artifact, it may completely alter their preconceived notions about Oak Island. After years of secrecy, Charles disclosed that a Roman sword had been unearthed in Mahone Bay, just off the shore of Oak Island, in the 1940s, by a local family who had been illegally scalloping in the region. The Oak Island team had finally obtained the relic. The sword itself was a bronze or brass weapon with a distinctive handle that attracted the team's attention right away. The finding of a Roman sword close to Mahone Bay in North America has generated a lot of speculations and discussions. Some people think it proves that Romans crossed the Atlantic centuries before Norse explorers or Columbus. To verify the sword's authenticity, specialists at St. Mary's University in Halifax performed a chemical analysis, notwithstanding the skeptics' contention that the sword might have been imported to the island later by European collectors or via trade channels. However, the results were inconclusive, because some elements did match Roman metallurgy, such as copper, tin, lead, and arsenic, all of which are consistent with ancient Roman bronze. The team discovered that the sword resembled ceremonial weapons given to gladiators and high-ranking Roman officers, with the hilt featuring Hercules aligning with Roman symbolism. The sword's cast did not adhere to accepted Roman methods, indicating a later era that may have been medieval or early modern. According to some scholars, it may have been built in the 18th or 19th century, using Roman architectural inspirations, or it may have even been purposefully positioned there by someone wishing to heighten the island's mystery. The idea that the Romans had lived on Oak Island was severely undermined when Dr. Christina Bro, a chemistry professor who specializes in metal analysis, performed a more thorough scan and discovered that the sword contained a high amount of zinc, which was not normally used in ancient Roman bronze. This suggests that the sword was made of modern brass rather than ancient bronze. However, not everyone was persuaded, as some noted that some ancient mines contain naturally occurring zinc that could have been converted into Roman bronze through natural processes. A new knowledge of early transatlantic migration and the history of the island of the Oak Island sword has resulted from the team's efforts to determine whether the sword was actually ancient. In the history of the island, discovery has generated debate. While some experts contend that it is a contemporary fake or the result of 19th century craftsmanship, others think that because of its distinctive metal composition at discovery, it may be a real ancient item. For more than 2 centuries, Oak Island has teased history buffs and treasure hunters with various finds that seem to contradict this. For instance, Roman-style crossbow bolts that matched the design of bolts used by the Roman soldiers were discovered on the island. Some contend that they came via trade routes much later in history, maybe during the era of European travelers or early settlers. In the glittering world of gold mining, where fortunes are dug from the heart of the earth, one name stands out: Rick Ness. Known for his uncanny ability to strike gold, Rick has etched his legacy in the Klondike's history. But hold on. This time, Rick's journey takes an unexpected turn. He faces a pivotal moment that could reshape his mining future. What life-altering decision has Rick made, and how will it steer the course of his gold-hunting saga? There's more. Brace yourselves for the arrival of an inspiring figure, ready to lend a helping hand in Rick's most challenging hour. Who is this mystery person, and how will they impact Rick's quest for gold? Join us to delve into a mining adventure like never before that will lead to Rick's biggest gold haul ever. Success isn't just about luck, it's about rolling up your sleeves and putting in the hard work. That's something that the indomitable Rick Ness believes in. Now, he finds himself facing a daunting challenge. A gold production goal that seems to be slipping through his fingers. Despite the hefty investments in top-tier equipment, Rick is dealing with machinery issues. Different hurdles are emerging, putting a wrench in the gears of progress, but the twists and turns in this mining saga don't end there. On top of all that, Rick is at a crossroads, facing a crucial decision about the ownership of the land. But the heart of the challenge lies in the earth itself. The act of digging and extracting precious gold from the depths becomes a battle against time and nature. It's a struggle that Rick faces head-on, with determination etched on his face. In the vast expanse of the mining frontier, Rick Ness is facing a pivotal moment in his gold-hunting journey. Having staked his entire season on a daring move, a deep cut that promised a potential $5 million in gold, the reality is not living up to the glittering dream. The 190-foot deep cut, the bold gamble that could lead to a substantial payday, is yet to yield the expected results. The goal is 2,000 ounces of gold, but this weight of the goal hangs heavy on Ness's shoulders, not just for the sake of his crew, but for his own survival in the unforgiving world of gold mining. A world into which Rick has poured his heart, soul, and a considerable amount of resources, expecting a gold rush that would make headlines. However, the reality is a bit different. The very ground he walks on holds the key to his mining empire's destiny. However, the landowner has different plans for Rick. Troy Taylor, who is the owner of Duncan Creek, the claim on which Rick is working under the lease, pays an unexpected visit to Rick, who is already under stress for not meeting the gold production goal. Cutting right to the chase, Rick questions the purpose behind Taylor's unanticipated visit, and Taylor, without beating around the bush, dives straight into the heart of the matter. His revelation hangs in the air, laden with potential implications. He wants to sell the Duncan Creek. Rick is now confronted with a significant personal decision.